All right, good evening. So I'm Thomas Edvalson. I've always been very passionate about modern technology. And one of the things that always impressed me has been Google's search engine, right? Because there's so many features packed into Google that we take for granted, really. One of those, for instance, is the autocomplete. You just type in the first few letters and automatically starts suggesting full questions. So recently I was searching a whole bunch of stuff on Google, and sometimes the auto search is funny. Like, I was typing in the first few words of my question. I typed in, "Why is my," and it adds penis green to the end of that. Right? And I was just sitting there completely mind blown that somehow Google knew exactly what I was wanting to ask. It's really insane how accurate those autocomplete suggestions are. And even scarier is the answers are there in the suggestion. Like, the Google results will tell you exactly, all too thoroughly, why your penis may or may not be green. And don't even think about clicking on the Google images for that question. You will lose some sleep over that. But sometimes the scariest thing isn't necessarily those things. Sometimes even scarier are some of the alternative suggestions that it gives you. Some of those things near the bottom of the suggestion list that catch your eye while you're typing something in. Like, for instance, you'll be typing in something like, how long can, autocomplete it with how long can a human breathe underwater? And that's pretty much what you're going for. And underneath something similar, like how long can a dolphin hold their breath underwater? But then usually fourth or fifth suggestion is something like, how long can my baby last in a hot car alone in the summer? And you're like, what? Because the suggestions are there because it's a popular question that someone's asking. And so, but first you start questioning yourself. Is there? Did I miss something? Is there something in the world going on? Is there something trending on Twitter with babies and cars? Did I miss something? Maybe there's a new viral challenge going around. Instead of that ice bucket challenge, it's like a baby in a hot car challenge or something. Maybe you missed something. But after you're done questioning yourself, you start questioning the world. How could people ask that? The world's going to hell in a handbasket. But after you're done being self-righteous, you then the curiosity hits you, and you're like, wait a second. How long can a baby last? Don't pretend like you never wondered these sorts of questions. It's it's not common knowledge. And it's insane because Google will tell you exactly. It knows all these answers somehow. Not only that, it'll show you some sort of chart of all the different demographics and ages of babies and climates and temperatures and the ranges, and you're like, who's doing the study for this? Yeah, Google knows. And let's see, where I was going with this. Oh yeah, babies. But what's funny is we're always curious about these sorts of things, common questions what happens when you put an animal in a microwave? It's like you don't want to think about it, and your first inclination is oh man, how could I even click on that question about the baby? It's you feel a little bit nervous. But again, once you get over being self-righteous, you try to rationalize it. You're like, okay, this question about the baby is actually useful knowledge. I don't have a baby myself yet, but I want to be a good parent. And being a good parent, you have to know the limitations of your children. For instance, if I know that my baby can last only 6 hours in a car, I want to make sure I leave him there for 4 hours max, right? And let's be perfectly honest. That's 2-hour padding. If anything, that's generous parenting. Let's be perfectly honest. If your baby ends up not being able to withstand 2 hours under the average, it wasn't exactly cream of the crop. You should probably try for a new one, And that's not immoral. It's just natural selection. That's biology. That's just science. I'm pretty sure they can't criminally prosecute you for that. You just say, hey, judge, I was doing science. If anything, I'm the victim here. Think about how I feel as a scientist, having put all that time and effort into a failed experiment. All right, I'm Thomas Edvalson. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you.